Okay, I'm getting ready to go on a detecting trip this weekend with my pal Matt, and I've got some new gear for my machine for it. We're actually hunting a Civil War site that we think was part of General Price's Missouri expedition, and in order to get there we've got to hike quite a bit, so I wanted something that could fit in my backpack pretty easily. So I went ahead and ordered this Anderson travel shaft, and I got it all assembled. It was really easy to assemble, you know, put the coil on there. Oh, this coil cover, by the way, this is for a Coiltech Joey coil, and it comes white, so I spray painted it, but I put it on here. And the reason is because we'll be hunting in some woods, and I don't like sticks getting up in here and grabbing my coil, or briars and everything like that. So this, in theory, is supposed to stop that from happening. We'll see how it does, but this is the Anderson travel shaft. I've got the threads lubed on both sides, and then you just screw them together. It breaks down for easy traveling. It's mainly meant for people who want to take their detector to fly, but you know, I use it for my backpack. And then I've got the new arm cuff on here. I ordered it from Indian Nations Detectors, the Herky arm cuff. It's made out of metal, not plastic like the Minelab one. It won't flex, and it stays put. I got a little tired of the Minelab arm cuff slipping so much. And this CTX is 5 years old, you know, so I still have the original cuff. I don't know if the 2016 version cuff does any better or not, but the old one doesn't. It's crapped out. So we're going to test these this weekend on this hunt, on the trip, and I'll come back with you guys and let you know how good they do. Alright, well, I've taken the Anderson travel coil out a few times, and I think I've got enough experience with it to give a pretty adequate review. First things first, we'll go into the setup here. I mean, I've got it into my machine, and I've got the 11-inch coil on it, and that's actually a coil cover for a Coiltech 11-inch FBS coil. But it works great for this, especially if you're taking it out in the woods and you don't want all those sticks and stuff getting in between your coil. So I purchased the travel coil because I was interested in taking it in a backpack. I do a lot of relic hunting, and there are some sites with relics on it that there are just no roads to get to them anymore. You know, back in the day of the Civil War, there were roads and paths leading there, and now there's just not. So the best way to get there is to hike in about 1.5 miles or so. And doing that, lugging a detector around is pretty cumbersome. So I've got a hiking pack, and I wanted a setup where everything fit just nice and snugly in there. And this does that. The Anderson travel coil does travel very well. And I hear firecrackers over there. And I can imagine if you were taking it on an airplane or on a long trip that this coil would be great for that. And to their credit, Anderson does tell you that this coil is not for daily, everyday use. You know, it's a very, or coil, the shaft, it's a very specific purpose shaft just for traveling. So it does that very well, travels very well. It does have some flaws, and I'll show you what the biggest one is. See it wiggling like that? The connection is not very tight. It comes very, 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 very loose. So if you're like me and you like to get your target and then lay your detector down, it'll roll on you. I'm on nice flat level ground here, but imagine, as I did when I took it out, when you're on an incline, it's going to flop your machine over. I don't like that at all about it. Another bad thing about it is, so there it is all the way tightened down. See how it's kind of cockeyed on my machine? Well, let's say I want to adjust it. It's not going to do that. It's not going to move there in the lock. With the cam lock down, it's really tight. It's not going to turn at all. So I don't like that at all. I've put a little bit of carbon fiber lube on there, and it still won't do that. So I'm not happy about that at all, and I'm not happy with how loose the turning thing is there. Now the coil does mount really good. Anderson sends you those shims in there which get it nice and tight. I do like that. Good feature. But with it being unable to turn here on the cam, being really tight up in the shaft, and then the threads here twisting and turning just so easily. They don't even lock. I'd have to say that unless you're really going to use this coil for its purpose of traveling, or this shaft for traveling, I just can't recommend it. It's not worth the price on it unless you're doing a lot of traveling. So anyway, that's my review of the Anderson travel shaft. It's great for a very, very, very limited purpose, and that is traveling. I think the flaws in it really overshadow its benefits of being handy to travel with. Although, you know, if you're jetting around a lot and you want it in your carry-on bag, I guess that would be a good benefit. But I'm telling you, you're going to get annoyed by it being so tight in the shaft, and you're going to get annoyed by that joint twisting and turning so much. Alright, thank you all for watching. Okay, I want to explain a little bit better of what I was trying to do there with the Anderson coil and the lack of play in it. So I've got the regular Minelab shaft on here. I keep saying coil, I mean shaft. Minelab shaft, Minelab coil, Anderson shaft. Okay, so let's unlock the cam lock here, and it'd probably be better if I set her on the ground. So, with the cam lock unlocked, this has some give in it. So if you want to cock your coil to the side and lock it in, or that side and lock it in, you can do that. And you know, that's pretty significant when you're hunting, because some people, you know, you want your screen cocked to that way of your coil a little bit. Otherwise, it's nice and straight. Good straight line there otherwise. And I can, if I can do this one-handed, I could cock and lock it to that side if I wanted to. See, and now it's skewed off that way. And that's kind of what you expect with the regular Minelab coil on there, or shaft. So, let's replace that, and then I'll be back with the Anderson shaft and show you. I have the Anderson travel shaft back in, and whenever you have it extended all the way out to where you want it, and you go to lock it in place, it automatically locks skewed off to the side, and off to the wrong side too if you're right-handed. It's all the way over there. And if you loosen the cam lock and try to wiggle it like you can with the regular Minelab shaft, it won't go. That's solid. It's not going to go. The only way to get it to sort of even be straight is to loosen it, unloosen it from the screw there, which, as I mentioned, is really easy to do because that doesn't lock in place. So if you keep it locked, you're stuck like this. Now, another problem that you run into, get me a little more shaft here. There we go. Another problem you run into when you're detecting is because it's so loose, your coil will turn just really easy. See how that's turning? If you bump into something, it'll turn or turn. You get on your kid's swing, it'll turn. And that's just a feature that I really, really, really don't like about this Anderson travel shaft. So, you know, Anderson makes a lot of really, really great products out there, but in my opinion, this is not one of them, and I don't recommend that you purchase it. If you enjoyed our video, please like,
share, subscribe. Me farted.